In the dark, turbulent waters of the North Sea, where the icy Atlantic currents meet the biting winds of Europe, lies a story that has remained hidden for more than a century, a story of hope, tragedy, and the relentless power of the ocean. The year was 1917. World War I had transformed Europe into a bloody battlefield, and the seas became dangerous routes where death lurked at every kilometer. German submarines patrolled the waters like silent predators, while devastating storms tested the endurance of any vessel that dared to brave the ocean. Among the ships that braved these treacherous waters was the SS Tobol, a Russian cargo ship, built in the St. Petersburg shipyards in 1902. At 150 meters long and with its imposing funnels, the Tobol was a symbol of Russian determination to keep trade routes open, even in times of war. Its name honored the Tobol River, a tributary of the mighty Ob that flows through vast Siberia. Captain Mikhail Volkov, a 45-year-old veteran with over 2 decades of sailing the Arctic seas, commanded a crew of 42 men. They were fishermen turned merchant seamen, peasants who found the sea an alternative to rural poverty, and young adventurers who dreamed of seeing the world beyond the borders of the Russian Empire. On October 23, 1917, the SS Tobol departed the port of Archangel loaded with grain, timber, and medical supplies destined for the Allies in England. The cargo was valuable, but no more precious than the letters each crew member carried with them, messages to distant families, promises of return, and hopes for better days after the war. The initial voyage was uneventful. The Tobol sailed along the Norwegian coast, staying close to neutral territorial waters whenever possible. Lookouts reported occasional sightings of other merchant ships and twice distant submarines that, fortunately, showed no interest in pursuing a Russian vessel. But fate had other plans. On October 27th, when Tobol was approximately 200 miles northeast of the Shetland Islands, a storm began to form on the horizon. Initially just dark clouds and moderate winds, the storm quickly intensified into one of the worst storms recorded in that region during the autumn of 1917. The SS Tobol's last radio signal was received at 5:40 minutes past 5 on that fateful day. The message was fragmented, barely audible through the static caused by the storm. Approximate position, structure compromised, water inrushing, God bless us. After these broken words, only silence. British and Russian naval authorities organized search operations as soon as the storm subsided 3 days later. Warships and rescue vessels scoured thousands of square kilometers of ocean, searching for wreckage, lifeboats, or any sign of the 42 men aboard the Tobol. They found only an empty, indifferent ocean dot in the decades that followed. The SS Tobol became a dark legend among North Sea sailors. Some reported ghostly sightings of a ship with 2 funnels sailing through the fog, always disappearing before it could be identified with certainty. Local fishermen whispered stories of strange lights seen during storms, moving beneath the surface of the water as if a ship continued its eternal journey into the depths. For the families of the crew members, the lack of answers became a constant pain. Wives waited decades for the return of husbands who would never return. Children grew up without knowing their fathers, keeping only faded photographs and stories told by mothers who refused to accept reality. The uncertainty was, in many ways, crueler than the certainty of death. The mystery of the SS Tobol attracted the attention of maritime historians, archaeologists, and treasure hunters throughout the 20th century. Numerous expeditions attempted to locate the wreck, using everything from rudimentary diving equipment to primitive sonar. All failed. The North Sea jealously guarded its secrets, protecting the ghost ship in its icy depths. The true revolution in the search for Tobol came with the technological advances of the 21st century. High-definition sonar capable of mapping the ocean floor with millimeter precision. Unmanned underwater vehicles equipped with high-resolution cameras and satellite positioning systems allowed marine archaeologists to explore previously inaccessible regions. In May 2024, an international expedition led by Norwegian oceanographer Dr. Astrid Hansen finally achieved what previous generations had failed to achieve, using historical weather data and computer models of ocean currents. The team was able to accurately estimate where the ship might have sunk during the 1917 storm. The discovery came on a clear summer morning. Side-scan sonar detected an anomaly on the ocean floor at a depth of 215 meters. The shape was unmistakable, the elongated profile of an early 20th century cargo ship, lying on its side on the seabed as if it had fallen asleep forever. The first images, sent back by the underwater vehicle, revealed a spectacle both majestic and melancholic. The SS Tobol lay nearly intact, preserved by the icy waters and the lack of oxygen at the bottom of the sea. Its steel structure had withstood the test of time, covered by a thin layer of sediment and inhabited by sea creatures that had transformed the ship into an artificial reef. Detailed exploration of the wreckage revealed crucial evidence about the ship's final moments. The hull had a large crack in the center, clearly caused by the violent impact of waves during the storm. There were no signs of explosions or torpedo damage, confirming that the Tobol was a victim of natural forces, not war. In the cabins and cargo area, archaeologists made extraordinary discoveries. Personal trunks still contained the crew's intimate possessions, pocket watches that had stopped forever at 0.6 of an hour, family photographs protected by metal frames, love letters written in Old Russian, and small religious icons that offered spiritual comfort during long voyages. A particularly touching discovery was Captain Volkov's personal diary, found in his cabin, still sealed inside a metal box. The final pages, written in the days before the sinking, revealed his growing concerns about the deteriorating weather and his determination to complete the mission despite the risks. His last recorded words were a prayer for the safety of his crew and a promise to return to his wife in Murmansk. Scientific analysis of the wreckage also provided valuable insights into Russian shipbuilding at the time. The SS Tobol represented the pinnacle of Imperial Russian naval engineering, featuring advanced welding techniques for the time and a design resistant to Arctic conditions. Ironically, it was precisely this robustness that allowed the ship to remain so well preserved on the ocean floor for the descendants of the crew, many of whom never knew exactly what happened to their ancestors. The discovery brought a mixture of relief and sadness. Finally, there were answers, but also definitive confirmation that no one had survived. Memorial ceremonies were held in both Russia and Norway, honoring men whose names had been nearly forgotten by history. The discovery of the SS Tobol represents more than just the solution of a maritime mystery. It reminds us of the countless anonymous sacrifices made during times of conflict, not only by soldiers on the battlefield, but by courageous civilians who kept society's vital infrastructure functioning. These merchant seamen risked their lives not for glory or recognition, but out of a sense of duty and the need to provide for their families. Today, the SS Tobol rests as an unofficial underwater monument, protected by international maritime heritage laws. Technical divers occasionally visit the site to pay their respects, leaving small commemorative plaques that slowly integrate into the marine ecosystem that now calls the ship home. The cold currents of the North Sea continue to flow around the wreckage, carrying with them the echoes of a turbulent time. The SS Tobol has finally found its final port, not in the sunny docks of England it was striving for, but in the silent depths where time seems to have stood still in 1917. This discovery teaches us that the ocean, though vast and seemingly infinite, eventually reveals its secrets to those patient enough to search and wise enough to listen. The SS Tobol is no longer lost. She has been found, remembered, and her story can finally be told to future generations who value the courage of those who sailed before us on the uncertain waters of history.